What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Against All Odds podcast. I'm here with Jesse. Jesse, welcome.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I'm excited to talk with you, man, because this was supposed to be done last year at Hartford, but we didn't get around to it. Ended up getting traded, but now we reunited at Detroit.
Yeah, this is the time, man.
This is the time. So let's roll the intro and we'll get into Jesse's story. So Jesse, I'm going to hit you with a whole bunch of rapid fire questions, and then we can go into your full story. Full name.
Jeciel Cedeño Benavides.
Bro, what a name. It's like you, Maxi. A lot of Latin American guys have the best names. You got 5 names together, and it's very satisfying to hear.
Yeah, I mean, in South America, basically, you have 2 names, your first and middle name. Mm-hmm. And then you have your dad's last name and then your mom's last name at the end. So
Cedeño is your dad's last name.
Yes. And Benavides is my mom's last name.
See, I like that, though, because you kind of carry on the tradition of both your parents, not just your dad's side.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Age?
I'm 24 years old.
24.
People tell me I look like 18, but I'll take that now.
Yeah, you do. You're young. You look young. You and LD. You and Daniel Espeleta.
Yeah, we look young, man.
Mm-hmm. Place of birth.
I was born in Guayaquil, Ecuador.
Mm-hmm. How do you say it? Guayaquil?
Guayaquil. That's the city, like the main city in Ecuador. Mm-hmm. And the biggest one also.
Bigger than Quito?
Yes, bigger than Quito.
I don't know.
Quito is cold and Guayaquil is coast, so it's very hot. Mm-hmm. And yeah. That was the place I was born.
And when did you move to America?
I came here when I was 12, so 2012. And I came here May 13 with my whole family.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What is your favorite team to support?
I was always a fan of FC Barcelona. Mm-hmm. You know, watching Messi plays, it was something that I really wanted to see every weekend, and how he would just really small and then be able to do all these things. It was something fascinating for me.
Mm-hmm. Favorite player then? Is it Messi? Is that?
No, my favorite player is Ronaldinho.
Yeah. I mean, that was mine. He was the player who got me to really start training and like doing extra work because I saw what he could do with the ball, like the Around the World, those Joga Bonito commercials where you ping the ball off the crossbar. And I was like, I want to be like this guy. And that was like created the passion for me.
Yeah, Ronaldinho I think he's different than Messi. You know, he was just a magician. Mm-hmm. You will want to wake up and watch his games, and something that inspired a lot of kids, to be honest.
It's just the creativity it was so crazy. Actually, that I got to stop saying that word. Maxi got mad at me. Because he listens to the podcast and he's just like, all you say is that's crazy. That's crazy.
I mean, it is crazy.
It is crazy.
It's not normal. You know, it's something.
So that's my goal for your podcast. If I'm trying not to respond to any of your things with that's crazy.
Okay. You can use some other words.
Well, I've got to think of some other words.
Yeah.
Okay. Favorite food?
My favorite food is a soup from Ecuador. Mm-hmm. It's called encebollado. So it's basically a soup that has fish, yuca.
Yeah. Not a yuca fan.
I love it just on that soup. It has onions. Mm-hmm. It has cilantro, and that's about it. And then you can eat it with bread. You can put sweet plantains. Mm-hmm. And yeah.
Can you make it?
No, my mom does.
She hasn't given you the recipe?
I mean, you can get the recipe from everyone, you know, but it's too hard. And I just don't want to make it and it tastes not the same as my mom. So I'd rather just wait. Every time I go back to New Jersey, then I eat it over there.
What about your favorite dessert?
It's called flan.
Oh, yeah.
I love flan. Mm-hmm. From Ecuador, Is
it any different than the American flan?
Yeah. I think over there is more sweet.
Okay.
So I can eat like 7 pieces. And we get flan for every party that we have over there.
Mm-hmm. What is the thing you miss most about Ecuador compared to America?
I'll say the food.
Yeah.
And the free stuff that you can do when you're not working and you are at home. Because I mean, in Ecuador, I live in we call it the barrios. Like I think it's the suburbs right here.
Well, is barrio? Does that also mean like it's like more dangerous?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you see people like stealing, and then they come run into the houses, and you cannot say anything because they're part of the neighborhood. So over there, you have a lot of things you can do when you're at home. 4:30 p.m. You go out. People are playing indoor in the streets. They're playing volleyball. We say equavolley. It's volleyball, but with only 3 players.
Okay.
It's basically more technique. You cannot jump and then just hit the ball down to the players. You gotta place it. And yeah, you can do a lot of stuff on the free time, and the food is very cheap in Ecuador compared to here. Is every time I say this to anyone, they can't accept that it's true because the difference is so much.
And what do you think? What's one thing that you like about America compared to Ecuador?
I mean, from the very first time that I came here, people are more serious about their appointment times.
Oh.
Like if you say to someone, "Hey, we have to meet at 3 p.m." They get here at 2:55, 2:50. In Ecuador, it's not like that. You said, "Hey, we're having a party at 4." People arriving at 7, 8 just to eat and then leave. So I think that's a big part that we have to change in our country. Is when you come here and then you go back and then you see those things happening, you realize how important it is to be, be a man of your word, arrive at the correct time and stuff. So that's one big thing for me.
Yeah, I like that. What have you been on a favorite vacation?
I mean, I always say this. My favorite vacation is going to Ecuador.
Going back home.
Yeah. I'll go to another countries, like I want to go to Spain and Greece. But every off season when I'm in Ecuador, I'm the happiest man.
Yeah. Is that one of your dreams, is to go to like a Barcelona game? Is that top on your bucket list to do?
I don't think it's top, but it's definitely one of the things that I want to do. I'm more of a guy like simple things. I want to go to Brazil and just go on the beach, play volleyball, play football, tennis with the guys over there. That's kind of the things that I like.
You gotta have Sticky Vic take you over there.
Hopefully he'll receive me at his house.
I'm sure he would.
I gotta talk to his family, man.
Yeah, because I mean, he goes back there. He said like once every 2 years or something. Okay. Now let's just get into your story. Now we've loosened up. We've got some questions. We've got to know you a little bit. How's the coffee, by the way? Is it good?
This is the best coffee, man. I'm not a coffee guy, but this one is good.
It's the right amount of sugar?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Not too sweet, not too... I love it, man.
Good. Because you're not that much of a coffee drinker, you said.
No. I don't like coffee. I get too crazy.
That's what I want. I want some craziness on the podcast.
Yeah.
Okay, so like you said, you were born in... there's no way I'm going to...
Guayaquil.
Not even close.
Guayaquil.
Kil.
Yes.
Guayaquil.
Guayaquil.
So you were born there. You lived there until you're 12, you said?
Yeah.
So you have a lot of memories from that area. Were you surrounded by family? Did you have cousins, and were you a big family or a smaller family? Or what did it look like? Do you have brothers, sisters, all that stuff?
Yeah. My whole family is there from my mom's side. I used to go to my grandma's house, and there were like 20 people every single day. So I spent a lot of time with my cousins, my aunt, uncles, and that's the memories that I have with my whole family. From my dad's side, they came to the U.S. when I was little, so I didn't have that much memory until I got here in 2012. Then I started to hang around my cousins from my dad's side, my uncles from my dad's side. So.
And then when you were growing up, did you just play soccer, or was there any other sports that you played? You said there's some volleyball in the streets as well. Like, was it just a ton of sports and hanging out every day, or how did that look like?
In Ecuador, you have only one sport. To be honest, it's only soccer, and basically you see it every day in the streets. So in Ecuador, every Saturday and Sunday, the streets are closed
Mm-hmm.
because they block the streets from the cars so they cannot pass through.
That's cool.
And then you can play without interference.
That's sick. Is it just for like playing? Is that the reason why they close it? That's really cool.
So basically you playing in a block and then they put 2 cars in the corner so people see that they're playing, they don't come through the street.
Wow.
And then you play constantly. You don't stop. Because every time a car passes by, if the other team's going to score, you can call out, hey, there's a car, and it doesn't count.
Yeah.
So they do that to avoid those problems.
That's cool.
So basically it was indoor every single Saturday and Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I was trying to, hey, I want to play this.
Yeah.
And then I was so little, so they won't let me play with big guys. But then I started playing when I was 10, and that was the time when I was like, yeah, I want to do this.
Mm-hmm. And did you play for an organized team at this time as well?
Yes, I got called up by the best academy at that moment in Ecuador. It was called Academia Alfaro Moreno. Mm-hmm. He played professionally in Barcelona from Guayaquil. And when I was 8, my mom didn't accept the offer because she said I was too little. I was going to get hit. So they called the next year. And then my mom said, okay, I'm going to let you go. But if you get hurt the first 3 months or so, you're just going to come back. You're not going to play. So I was like, Mom, please let me go and we'll see what happens. Yeah. You know, it's at the beginning of your career. So I realized that was meant to me. Like I wanted to play soccer no matter what.
So that was your dream at like 8, 9 years old. You were already thinking, I want to be a pro footballer.
Yeah.
Were you? So you were always a really small kid compared to like everybody else your age, or is it just that you were 8 years old and?
No, I was. I'm always being small and skinny too.
Yeah.
Like even now, I try to hit the gym and I just keep being skinny. And yeah, that was the main issue. But besides that, I was like, I want to play. You know.
Was it at this academy that Chocolate, the name, came about, or was that later?
It was later.
It was later. In America? In New Jersey then?
In Ecuador.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Because for those of you that are listening, when I was at Hartford, people were calling you Chocolate. I was like, why is everybody calling Jeciel Chocolate? And they're like, oh, because he's Chocolate. I was like, all right.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't until this year when I asked you about it. And you told me this, like, oh no, because you said, like, why did they call you Chocolate?
Yeah. So in Ecuador, we have a saying. When I was 16, I was playing Ecuador. And over there, when you have guys that can play with the ball, we used to say, hey, that's Chocolate. When I used to say, oh, like you just do a combination, like out back through or like a quick 3v1 and you break the defense, we say, oh, that's Chocolate. And it was because it looks so nice and so smooth that we're like that's sweet. Instead of saying sweet, we were like, oh, that's Chocolate. But then every time a guy comes to trial and then he was good, we will say, oh, that guy is Chocolate. Like he can play. So after that, it just kept going. Oh, this guy is Chocolate. No, he's not Chocolate. So basically, when you can play, you are like a skillful guy, like smooth. We say like, yeah, that's Chocolate. That's sweet, smooth. You know, you want to taste that. You know, you wanna do that too. That was the reason, basically.
Yeah. Have you seen me step out on the field to do something that was Chocolate?
Yeah, I mean, you do it every day before training.
Yeah,
I can even do that. Given those tricks, man.
Yeah, I can bring it sometimes. You know.
Yeah,
that's sick. But yeah, so now, I mean, Detroit, most of the guys call you either Jesse or Chocolate.
Yeah, I mean, because when I was at Hartford, they started calling me that. Then I went to Oakland and they knew about it. So
who started calling you that at Hartford?
It was Danny.
Danny Barrera?
Yeah. Because I spoke to him when I got to Hartford, so I will say that Chocolate, and then he would say, oh, Chocolate bag. So
yeah, because I remember he was the one who I heard call you Chocolate first. I was like, oh, that's a cool name, man.
Yeah.
That's a sick name.
Yeah. It's crazy because now everyone asks me, hey, what's Chocolate? Even the coaches were in Oakland, they were calling me Chocolate. So
that's awesome.
it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's a good name.
Something different, you know?
It's a good name to have. The fact that you're smooth and silky with the ball. I mean, there could be way worse names.
Yeah, for sure.
There's a lot worse names. Okay, so you're growing up in Ecuador, though. You're like 9, 10 years old. You know you want to be a pro footballer. Were you just playing every single day with your friends in the street? Were you going? How often did you train with this academy? Was it 3-4 times a week?
Yeah, it was 3 days a week. It was Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
And then on the other days, were you just training just with your friends and stuff?
I was risking my career at the streets.
Yeah.
I mean, it's something you can. You're not really thinking about the risk when you're 10. So you watching all your friends go out at 4 p.m. to play in the streets. You can't stay home, you know. You just wanted to be there and then play with them. So that was about it. I would play at school too in the mornings when you have lunch. So you have like 30 minutes to play there too.
But like, even though you say it's like a risk, the amount that you learn, like just playing that much in those tight areas on the street, like using the sole of your foot, doing like, I feel like that was something, especially in America, that's improving. But for me, that I wish I had a group that was like that. Because you go out in America in the suburbs and you go with your neighborhood, you're riding bikes, you're playing football, you're playing basketball. I was lucky that there's a couple guys that would play some soccer, but like you'd play so many different sports, baseball, you're doing everything. It wasn't like you said, it was like in Ecuador, you have the one sport that like everybody goes out and plays. And I wish that it was like I was doing that year round in the street all the time playing, but it's just not like that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It's really tough. And some people don't understand, but when you play in the streets, it's 4v4. You have your goalkeeper and then you play 4v4. The streets, some of them are not good. And the ball is really small.
It's like a futsal ball. Is it heavier?
Yeah. So you have to step on the ball. You have to do all this movement, and it's just so much fun.
Do you know Rodrigo da Costa?
Yeah.
He's at North Carolina FC. He was like the one where I realized, because he was Brazilian, and he stopped playing academy, I think, at like 12, 13 years old. And then from 13 to 18, all he did was futsal. Like no outdoor. He didn't play outdoor at all. No 11v11. It was just futsal. And this guy, I remember when I was playing against him, he's over on the side of the field and we had him trapped, you know, where it's like kill him on the sideline, don't let him get out. And he had 2 guys on him already on his back. And so I came to do some front pressure and I came flying at him and he just used the sole, rolled it back. I stepped out and with the sole of his foot, just rolled it right in between my legs. I literally fell back and he just kept on going out. I'm like, that's different. Like that's it. That's from just playing in those areas so much, in tight areas, that you're so comfortable with the ball at your feet like that. You know?
Of course. I mean, every Brazilian have that, I think. They're just born with it. It's like Neymar too. Like it's so natural. They know how to hide the ball. So, yeah, that's the best. Playing on the streets, you learn so much. You compete too. Yeah. Because in Ecuador, if you play in your block, you have like 4 or 5 different teams every week. But if your team is the best, then next week you go to other places to play against the best of the other.
Really? Yeah. Is it organized a lot? Or like how do you organize that?
So basically 4 p.m. Right? So the sun comes down like at 7. So you basically have 3 hours to play. You are at your home and then you see people bringing out the goals. Once you see the goals, people start coming out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So basically if you have a team, they say we make a 5-player team. Yeah. We say, hey, let's go to this place like 2 minutes away. We go, hey, let's play. And they see that you have a good team. So they get the best players from that area to play against your team. And then you decide for how much money you play.
Is it always for money no matter?
Yeah, it's not friendly. So you have to play for money. Because if not, it's just like for fun. Yeah. So they just say, hey, let's do 50 cents per head per player. So it's $2.50. But now if it's a good game, you play for $5 per player. Okay. So now if they play for $25, then the game must be good.
Yeah. Okay. And Does it ever get like, since you're playing for money, and if the money goes higher and higher, does it ever start to get like dirty?
Yes.
Or like their fights and stuff at this?
Yeah.
A lot?
Yeah, of course. Every day.
Every day?
Yeah. I mean, if you play in your area, it's most likely to not get into a fight because you know everyone.
Mm-hmm.
But in your area, you play against all type of players. Like you play against kids that are 14.
Mm-hmm.
It could be guys that are 40. If you go to another place, you have to go with your team and you have to take support. You got to go with maybe 10 other guys. So if something happens, you have like support behind you because you can't go by yourself to other places.
Gotcha. Okay. Did you, like, looking back at it, did you realize that it was dangerous at the time, or it was just growing up?
No,
you didn't really think about it.
Now I realize how dangerous it is right now.
It's more dangerous now, right? Than it is back then.
Back then, I was just playing. They knew I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
But now is, for example, the off season when I go, I play for fun. I don't play for money anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But even though the other team, they're playing for money, like they're playing to win.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, when it start getting dirty, I go down to play defense because you have more time. Someone won't be able to get you or hit you. So
yeah,
but it's the best. It's the best. Like you see a lot of good players on the streets.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, that's awesome. I would love to because I've never been to Central or South America. I mean, I've been to Mexico for Cancun on a beach, but I've never actually been to see that with on the streets playing or in the futsal courts of Brazil or something like that. I would love to either see that, play in that, do something. I think it'd be awesome.
Yeah. I was telling you about I wanted to do a video of going to Ecuador and have people see what's going on over there on the streets. Yeah, because it's something different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's your YouTube channel? Did you posted a video, right?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
Yeah. My sister is doing the work, but now
plug it. Do you want to plug it?
Huh?
You want to plug the YouTube channel in the future when you do post?
Yeah,
something?
for sure.
What's it called?
I don't have a name right now, but maybe we do chocolate or something like that. You know.
So, and you said you want your channel not to just be like a football channel, right? You said you wanted to have.
Yeah, I want it to be like life. You know, everything about life and more about my country.
Mm-hmm. Like documentary style?
Yeah, like people see different kind of things that happen in my country. Because right here is a different world.
Yeah.
Over there, it's just a lot of things are not similar. So,
what do you think the biggest difference is?
The food.
Yeah.
The food is very cheap.
Yeah.
You can't imagine how
much it would be if I went out and I got a big meal just for myself and a drink and a dessert. How much would that be?
In a restaurant will be probably $5.
$5 total.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Because in Ecuador you have restaurants, but you also have people making food outside of their houses.
Really?
That is really good. That you rather go there than to a restaurant.
So just right out, on their porch, their front area, right outside their front door.
Yeah.
They just sell food.
So basically you live right here, then you go down the block. There's Carmen cooking. How much for steak, rice, beans, salad, juice?
Yeah.
$2.
Really?
If you go to a restaurant, that goes to $5.
But I'm guessing they don't have permits or food.
No,
or it's just literally someone's mom.
Yeah, you don't need permits.
Dinner.
Yeah. Over there you don't need permits because just take out your grill, you start making food.
That's cool.
And then people support too. So
yeah,
people in the area, let's go eat.
I mean it'd be if I knew someone's mom was cooking some really good food 2 minutes away that I could just walk to.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
And it's so easy to people know that you're doing something because you tell somebody else.
Yeah.
They go, oh yeah, I just ate over there. It's really good. Oh, let's go over there. So, so it's the best. The food it's very cheap.
See, I would love that. I would love to if I could go back with to Ecuador with you for a week and be able to see that, watch the games on the streets, go and eat food, by someone's mom down the street. I think that'd be really, really cool to experience.
Yeah. It's like living another life.
Yeah. Yeah. Because the culture shock is just so different.
Yeah, you see people in Ecuador, we have a thing, even if it's Monday through Sunday, at 7 p.m. at night, you take a shower, you get dressed like you go into a party, but you're not going to a party. You just go outside of your house to talk with the other people.
And just chop it up, just hang out.
Yeah, that's the life over there.
So that's what you're saying. Like, so that's what you miss is like outside. There's just so many things to do constantly. Like if you go walk outside right now on the street, there's nobody.
Yeah,
it's just people. Everybody's at work. Yeah. Everybody's
So at 4, 5, 6 p.m., you see people taking out their chairs and just sitting outside. Someone walks, hey, how you doing? Oh, what are you doing later? And that's up till 11 p.m. Then you go back inside.
And everybody gets all dressed and like
all dressed. You see people.
Cool. It's like no matter what, every single day it's a party.
Yeah.
That's cool. Are there drinks or are people drinking out there as well, or is it just more just social, just hanging out?
No, yeah, people drinking every day. Yeah, because you can buy beer at the corner store. There's everywhere. So.
Is there any rules about drinking out on the street?
No.
Yeah.
No, you literally can throw a party and you can close the block if you want. And it's your area, so.
Yeah, it sounds fun. It sounds really fun.
It is fun. It's a lot of freedom, I think. You feel like free. You feel peace.
Yeah. Why is it more dangerous now? Is it something politically that happened, or is it like?
I think it's just the territory for the drugs. People are fighting against each other. So if someone's gonna kill somebody else, they just don't go for that person. They go from everyone around them. So
and it just escalates.
If you are in the wrong place, then they just kept going.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like I said, like in every country, there's places that you can go.
Yeah.
So that's what I said. Like, it's dangerous in the areas that you cannot go in Ecuador, but there's places that you can really be free.
Because America has dangerous cities.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's probably not like there's other countries that are way more dangerous, but it's not like it is kind of like that. If you are smart, I feel like, and you travel around, like I haven't been to a super dangerous country ever, but even when you're in different cities, living in St. Louis, living wherever, there's places where you're like, okay, I got to be a little bit careful here once it gets dark, or not to go here. These places are fine. You start to figure that out.
Yeah, that's just being smart.
Yeah,
because in Ecuador too, they steal phones very likely every day. So if you don't want to be in that position, then don't take your phone out. If you're going to the store, you don't need your phone.
Yeah.
So I go there, I leave my phone in my house. I don't have to text anyone. I just leave it at my house. Yeah. If they come to rob me, then I have I don't have anything.
Yeah, check my pockets. There's nothing in there. Yeah, that makes sense. So you were with this academy you started with them when you were 9. Were you with the same academy until you were 12, until you left?
12, yeah.
Okay. And that was when like you really developed your game, training with them 3 times a week, playing in the streets a ton. Did you really feel like you were on track or on the right path to become a pro at this time? Like, was this academy, did it have a good route to the pro game?
Yeah, they did. That's one thing that got me into it. And over there, I started learning about tactics throughout the game. It was not just skills. It was not just trying to find the pass. It was more tactics. That was the time when I realized, okay, now I have to incorporate these things into my game to make it to the next level.
Yeah, because I feel like from what I've seen, I've been on a decent amount of teams now, and you have those players that are just pure, just skilled street players. But then you could put them on the 11v11 field, and they kind of lose tactically where to be, how to press, where they need to be if the ball's on this side, how to even build the runs off each other. And then on the flip side, you have guys that are way too tactical and that are really good in a unit with 11v11, but when it gets to that place where you need to do something special, you don't have. And so I felt like that, it sounds like it was a good balance of learning the tactics from the academy, playing in the street the other 3-4 days out of the week. Do you feel like that was the case?
Yeah. I mean, at that moment, I was trying to just combine both things into my game. I never wanted to lose my flow in the game. So I was doing the same thing I was doing in my in the streets of Ecuador. I was doing it in the academy, but I was just adding the tactics into my game. Yeah, because I knew it was important, to play the games, and that was a really good transition for me.
Mm-hmm. And why did your family move from Ecuador to New Jersey?
My dad, he was a resident of the U.S. at that moment,
Mm-hmm.
and we were doing the documents for my family to come here. I didn't know it was gonna be that soon. Um, I believe when I was 12, I was at my best moment throughout the academy.
Mm-hmm.
I was in the right path, and the papers got done quick. And my mom told me one day, "Hey, we're leaving in 2 months to the U.S."
Wow.
I was 12, and even though I was a kid, I didn't want to come here.
Mm-hmm.
Even they said like, "Yeah, over there you can pick up coins from the streets." You like
Is that what you were told about America?
like easy money. Like there's a lot of jobs.
Mm-hmm.
People literally throw their money into the floor. You can grab it. that was the mindset that people were trying to put in me.
Yeah.
But I was too into the game
Mm-hmm.
that I'm not leaving. But I realized it was not my decision. Everything was done, so I had to come.
So the main reason you wanted to stay was because of that academy.
Yes.
And you were doing so well there. You were thinking like my best chance of becoming a pro footballer is to be here, stay here, develop with this academy.
Correct.
Okay.
Because I was doing so well,
Mm-hmm.
and I was sacrificing a lot of stuff. My family would go on vacation in Ecuador,
Mm-hmm.
and I would go to play 2 games. They will go to a party. I can't because I have a game.
Mm-hmm.
So now I was thinking about all these things that I've done. Is gonna be a waste of time now because I'm gonna leave everything behind.
Mm-hmm. Did you know that there were academies and good club teams in America? Like, did people tell you like, or did you think that your playing days were over?
Yeah, I think there was a moment when I thought it's gonna be hard now because I
Mm-hmm.
came to a different country. I don't know about any academies in the U.S. To be honest, when I came,
how was your English
I think it's probably a 6, 7 out of 10.
at the time when you were like?
Oh no!
Yeah,
no,
how was
no.
your English at 12?
0.
You didn't know any?
I just knew how to say my name is Jeciel. Because
my name is Chocolate.
Yeah, because we have guys that go from the U.S. to Ecuador to preach.
Yeah.
So every time they go to my house, I will say, "Hey, how you say mi nombre es Jeciel?"
Mm-hmm.
And they will tell me. That was the only thing.
So that's all you had was just my name is Jeciel.
I came here. We went to Queens.
No, and also now your English is a 9, Poppy. It's good. It's good.
You're
doing a full podcast in English.
I mean, I think
come on,
it could be better.
My English could be better. I say that's crazy for everything. So it's good. It's good.
Yeah.
So were you nervous about that? Like, obviously you had the football where you're like, okay, I don't know if there's going to be a good academy for me, but also you're going to a place that you can't speak English.
Yeah.
Were you nervous about that? Or did you not think about it?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, when I went to school, they were like, "You're going to have everything in Spanish."
Mm-hmm.
So I thought, okay, that's fine. I can do that. But I think I lost like my love for the game because my family went to Queens. I started like kind of working at that time, like something super little. Then we moved to New Jersey, and it was just a constant change in my life that I didn't know when to start, how to start playing soccer. I'll go to school, have gym, and we'll have free time.
Yeah.
They give free time here. All the people were like, "Hey, can I have a basketball?"
Yeah.
I go to the lady, to my teacher, "Hey, can I have a soccer ball?" And the first thing she said, "No, we don't do soccer balls here. We only play basketball. We have a baseball. We have a football."
Mm-hmm.
And then at that moment, I was like, "Wow, this is gonna be tough."
Yeah, because that's like your full identity.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I couldn't even imagine it. And you go over to some place that goes, no, we don't do that.
Yeah, I didn't know about basketball when I was in Ecuador. Basketball, baseball, football. And when we had lunch in Ecuador, we don't even eat. We just play soccer for 30 minutes.
So when did you feel like it started to settle down and you felt like that? Like, when did you get on your first team?
I was 14.
Okay, so it took like 2 years of that.
Yeah,
where
2
you
years.
didn't really, where you were just bouncing around. You didn't get into a team. You weren't playing. It was just
Yeah.
trying to assimilate, trying to get into the American lifestyle.
Yes. I was. I
Were you
went to.
happy? Was you like depressed at those 2 years?
I don't think I was depressed. I was just thinking like, I want to play.
Yeah.
I want to play. I can't be just going to school and then don't touch a soccer ball. Like,
Now, what'd you do in the afternoons after once school finished? You just go home and.
I go home, play Call of Duty for 6 hours. That was I didn't even play FIFA at that time.
So it really was just out of your life. Did you watch football? Like,
Yes, every day.
Yeah.
I used to wake up at 6 a.m. to watch every single game
Uh-huh.
because that was the only thing I could do.
Yeah. That was your only connection
Yeah.
back to the game.
I didn't have friends, so I was like, yeah, I just watch games. I got home from school, played Call of Duty, like I said, 6 hours.
Which Call of Duty? Modern Warfare?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was so good at that game. What was your gun? What'd you use?
I love the AK-47.
Yeah, I was MP5,
Rifle,
bro.
yeah.
Silenced MP5, just sprinting around,
Yeah.
slicing people tonight.
I like to be loud, just go. Yeah, but then when I was 14, I did the traveling team from my city
And how did you find that team?
because the guys from the school, I found out they were playing for that team.
Mm.
And then I was like, hey, I want to try out.
Mm-hmm.
The field was like 5 blocks away from my house. So I was like,
Oh, nice.
okay, this is good. I can walk. And the coach was Ecuadorian.
Oh, that works.
Yeah, so I didn't have to speak English. He was like, okay, yeah, you're good. We're doing this. I made it to the team. And then I think that was the starting point when I realized, okay, now I'm starting to do what
Mm-hmm.
I'm the best,
And did you feel like with this, it was also an opportunity to make friends again, to be on the field, to play? How did you find the level compared to what it was?
In Ecuador, is so physical.
Mm-hmm.
And here was more like, yeah, you have a little more time. People don't get too physical. They
Mhm.
don't hit you that much. So it was basically, I realized I started being like a little soft too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't get near me, just
Yeah.
let me play. Don't hit me, all that. I was trying to like get used to this type of football,
Mm-hmm. Did you like at this time now? Like, did you feel like obviously the physicality might have been lower too, but did you also feel like skill wise you were way ahead of everybody, or did you feel like it was even because it's been 2 years, or how did you feel with that?
Yeah, I think skill wise and technical wise, I think my level was a little higher
Mm-hmm.
because we used to play with American teams, like guys that are from here,
Mm-hmm.
and they will run for days.
Yeah.
Like they will just run. And we were like, that's not our type of football, We like to pass the ball, do all these things,
Mhm.
make it look nice, do flicks.
Chocolate.
Yeah, disguise ball, like no look pass.
Yeah.
But they won't do that, And I was like, okay, that's one difference that I
Mhm.
noticed from the beginning.
Mm-hmm. Did you start to feel now like that you were feeling a little bit happier being in America now that you're playing for a team, now that you probably had friends, now that you had an Ecuadorian coach? Was things like, were things better at this time?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was waking up happier.
Yeah, that's good. How often did you train? 2-3 times a week?
I think it was 3 days a week. So
Okay,
it
that's good.
was Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday,
Uh-huh.
and we play Saturday.
Did you find other places where you could play on the days that you weren't training with the team, or did you find kind of like what I was in, where it was like there's nobody else really playing?
Yeah, no, I would in my off days I would just maybe go to the field with my friends,
Yeah.
play like around the world, just play World Cup,
Mm-hmm.
and that was my main thing to do.
That's
Like-
the one thing that's nice about America, though, is that the fields, you have
Mhm.
really good turf fields that you can find, public fields. You can go on there,
Mhm.
train with goals, nets, everything. A lot of countries, you don't have that.
No,
all private.
Ecuador doesn't have that.
Yeah. Like even Germany, I was like, when I was over in Germany, I was shocked. I'm like, how can there's no public fields? Like they're all private. They're all locked up. And
Yeah.
you go out, you hop the fence, and you get yelled at. And I'm like, how are you supposed to just train or have fun if they're all private?
Yeah, in Ecuador it's like that. I think it's rare because in a country that football is everything,
Mm-hmm.
you're supposed to allow all these players to have a a way to
Yeah.
keep playing the sport, you know.
Mm-hmm.
In Ecuador too, like there barely fields that are available, they're locked.
Yeah.
You basically this is a good one. You basically have to pay the security to let you in
Yeah.
into the fields.
How much did you pay him?
$20 a night.
$20.
$20 for 2 hours.
Okay. It's a pretty good price.
Yeah. So you take 30 players,
Yeah.
it's less than $1 per player.
Yeah. Yeah.
So even if you have 20 players, that's $1 per player.
Mm-hmm.
So you pay the security, they let you in, you play for 2 hours, and you go.
Yeah, that's not bad. Yeah, because that's the thing that I love. Like even at my house when I was growing up in Portland, there was probably 4 to 5 fields in a like 10-minute drive from my house, 15-minute drive from my house that were all public, that multiple that I could just go to. You drive to one, oh nope, it's being used. There's a game going on. I'll go to the other.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect. There's some guys training on that goal, but this goal is open. Me and my brother will and my dad will be at this goal training. Nice full size goal, beautiful field, turf field.
Yeah.
It's hard to find in a lot of countries, which
It is.
you don't want to take for granted here. But okay, so how long were you with this team then before you left to the next team?
I was with the Union City traveling team for 1 year, I think.
Uh-huh.
Then I went to play for another traveling team from another town called Fairview.
Fairview?
Fairview, yeah. It was called Fairview FC.
Why'd you leave?
Because I was 14 and then they only had until 14, like traveling team,
Oh,
like U14.
Mhm.
So I was like, I need to keep playing. And I was in 8th grade, so I wanted to just keep playing.
Mm-hmm.
And then I found this team that the coach was Ecuadorian too, like 20 minutes away.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yeah, I'm going to play. So we have this group of 7 friends that they were from Ecuador. They're still my friends. They're my best friends.
Mm-hmm.
When I went to this team, I told this guy, hey, I have 6 friends that are really good. And he asked me where they're from. And I said, they're all from Ecuador. Okay, bring it in. They went there, so we all will play in the same team.
Yeah.
The funny part is that every single one of us play in different positions. So we can always start in every game.
All 60 or 70 guys.
Yeah. So we have 2 holding midfielders.
Uh-huh.
We had 1 right back, 2 wingers, 1 10 and 1 forward. So he was the perfect.
Did you always play 10 at this time?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I was playing 10.
That's
So
cool.
he was.
That works.
Yeah. And we said to the guy, if one of us leaves, we all leaving. Because we were 14, we just wanted to have fun.
Yeah, you guys all want to be on the field together. You want to have fun.
Yeah. And we used to take the bus at the same time,
Mm-hmm.
go, train, come back at 12 p.m. So
Mm-hmm.
It was the best.
That's sick.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Did you guys all go to the same school?
Yeah.
Okay.
Same school, and we live close to each other in Ecuador too.
Yeah. You know what's funny is when I was growing up, for West Side Metros, there was a group of it was Mexican guys. There's like 5, 6, same thing, same exact thing. They all came and rode together on the same bus, or they would carpool. They'd all come together. They'd all show up. If we had a game, they'd show up 10 minutes before the game started.
Yeah.
Just throw on their shit. And they'd be like, "Oh yeah, they're coming. Don't worry." Show up. They'd play. They all played together. They all had fun. And then they just left. And then same thing. If one of them or 2 of them left for a different club, all of a sudden be like, "Yeah, we're gonna lose them." All 4 of those guys, 5 of those guys would leave for a different team.
We'll do the same thing.
Yeah.
And the coach knew, so that he had to keep us happy.
Yeah.
Even now we're all leaving.
Yeah. So how long did you stay with Fairview then?
I stayed with Fairview for 1 year.
And then you guys all left together?
Yeah, we all left because we had one friend that was older, but he was playing with under another papers.
Okay.
So the coach one day came and be like, "Hey, this is the last time he can do this. After this game, I won't be able to register him under this name." So we said, "Okay, that's fine. We're all leaving. Pack your things. We're all leaving."
And where'd you go?
That moment I started playing freshman.
Okay.
In high school.
Yeah.
And I played freshman for 1 year. I was playing freshman and varsity team. So I was playing 2 different teams. And then I decided to leave to Ecuador.
Okay.
Yeah, I told my mom I wanted to go back because my coach from Ecuador texted me through Facebook. He was like, "What are you doing? Are you playing? You want to come back?" So the academy that I was before,
Yeah.
they made a partnership with the best club in Ecuador, first division. So the path was gonna be easier. So you will play 12, 13, 14, 16, U18 reserves, first team.
Gotcha. So it's literally a direct route to the professional game. How was the first division in Ecuador?
It's good. It's physical.
Yeah.
You have a lot of things that matter when it comes to playing Ecuador. Physicality is one of them. I got elbowed my first training day in Ecuador. Because players over there, they play for a living.
Yeah.
They come from nothing. So they don't like to see other guys coming in trying to make the team. I have so much experiences over there that it's crazy, man. Like a lot of things happens over there in Ecuador that people don't realize when all these players trying to make it to the first team.
So you went back when you were 14, then 15?
16.
16.
Yeah.
You went back when you were 16 to Ecuador. And who'd you live with?
I was living with my grandma.
Okay.
My grandmother, my grandfather, and my uncle.
And so you went back for the main reason is to be a part of this academy team? Because you thought this was going to be the best path for you to become a pro?
Correct.
Okay. Was it hard leaving your family in New Jersey?
To be honest, it was not that hard. Because I was so committed to it. I was thinking about this is what I want to do. And my mom was kind of sad because she was asking me, how are you going to leave? Like, what are you going to do by yourself over there? Even though you're going to be with my family, but it takes a lot of effort to do it, you know? And I was like, it's all right. I would go try to make it. If it doesn't work out, I come back. So I decided to leave on January 2016.
And how was it when you joined this academy? So you were on the U16 team? Is that what you joined?
Yes. So I got there and the coach, he sent me the information. Hey, you're going to come to tomorrow training. And so he told me I was going to go play the game, like a trial game between 22 players. And then they will select the best players to make it to the U16 of Barcelona.
Okay.
So I went to the game. I see all these guys big, you know, and I go there. I did pretty well. But I realized I was not physical as them. So when they pick up the players, they didn't pick me. And I was surprised. And I was like, wow, I didn't make the team. So the coach that brought me into this team asked the guy in charge, like the coach of the U16, hey, what happened? Like, why didn't you choose Jeciel? No, he's in the team. And then what happened? Why didn't you say his name? Because I wanted to tell him something before he realized he's making the team. And then he said to me, if you want to play here, you have to kill everyone. Like, he literally said that to me. You have to be physical. You have to go through everything. These guys, they're going for everything. They're taking everything. So at that moment, I realized I was coming back from the US already thinking and playing like the players here. So I had to incorporate that part again into my game. Yeah, because it was super hard for me. Yeah, I made the team. And then it was now back to my normal life, training 5 days a week, playing on Saturday, and then from there it just kept going.
And were you happier back home in Ecuador because you had the schedule, because you're with this team?
Yeah.
Even though you're away from your family. Yeah. And then you were with this U16 team, and did you go up to the U18 team next?
Yeah.
It was a smooth transition. You were playing well. You were starting. You doing well.
Yeah. So I was playing the U16. Then I play U17. And then I play U18. So it was kind of hard because at that moment I was a resident of the U.S.
Yeah.
So I can only be out of the United States for max 6 months.
Okay.
So I was going to Ecuador, play 5 months, and I would talk to the coach and the organization. Hey, I have to leave for 1 week because I'm a resident. I have to do this. They will say, okay. So I used to come back just for a week.
Yeah.
Leave. I go back to Ecuador.
So just visit your family real quick and then pop right back down.
Just do it for the papers.
Yeah.
Because then they will take out the green card. But then after a couple flights and trips, immigration started asking me, why are you living in another country, being a resident of the United States? You're supposed to live here.
Yeah.
And I used to say, I had braces at that moment. So I used to say, hey, look, I don't have insurance in the US. I'm doing my braces here in Ecuador. That is cheaper.
Yeah.
And then I'm also trying for a professional soccer team. So yeah, I want to be a professional soccer player. And they will understand. They will say, okay, that's fair. See you later. Yes. But after a while, it was a problem because I had to come back when I was in the U18. My mom had the citizenship test and I was under 18. She said to me, if I pass the test, you have to come back because you're going to be a citizen automatically because you're under 18. She passed the test and I talked to the coaches. Hey, I have to go. But it was like before the playoffs. So it was like an important date. And I came here, but they didn't like that. When I came back, it was a different like atmosphere within the team, within the coach. And I felt like that was a turning point into the decision for me to stay or not on the team.
Yeah, because it was such an important game that you had to leave for. But
I had to.
Yeah, you had to. It's tough.
Yeah.
So you got your citizenship for the U.S. at that time then?
Correct.
So now you're both a citizen of Ecuador and the U.S. You went back. You said the atmosphere changed. And then what was the decision that you made then?
So then they went to make the reserve team, like basically under 21.
Yeah.
And I saw like there was no space for me. And I was like, okay, maybe what happened 2 months ago, like had a lot to do with this. They thought I was going to keep going back and forth. And my cousin reached out. She works for Heineken.
Yeah.
And she was like, hey, I have a friend at the Red Bulls Academy.
Okay.
I talked to him and he wants to see your videos. Do you have videos of playing in Ecuador? I was like, yeah, I have some videos. And then we sent it to him and he was like, yeah, we like this kid. Can he come over? And she said, yeah, he can come. And they asked about my paper situation. They said, does he have papers or not? And she said, yeah, he's a citizen. Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Then bring him on.
Yeah. Once they hear that, they're like, oh, yeah, let's get it going.
That was the first question.
Yeah.
That was the first question. And my cousin said, yeah, okay, he can come right away. I immediately booked a flight next week. And then I came to the US.
Okay. And then at this time now, how is your English on a scale from 1 to 10? It was a 0 when you first came over. Then you were there for a few years. Then you came back to Ecuador.
I'd probably say it was like 5.
5.
Yeah. Because I only did I did middle school 2 years and high school 1 year.
3 years.
But I was doing crazy things to learn in middle school. So I used to go to middle school every day. I take a book or a notebook and then I would write down 100 words every day. Like I would see something on the wall.
Yeah.
Write it down.
Yeah.
I'll go to Google Translate in the afternoon and I'll write down the word to see what it meant. Like I'll put wallet. I'll see on the wall. And I'll say, oh, that's this. So next time I hear it, I know what they're talking about.
That's smart.
That was my way to because I really wanted to learn.
Yeah. No, it's. I remember when I was living in Germany, I would like sit, not like write down the words, but I would pick up words or hear stuff, or I'd be like have a phrase of like I'd ask a teammate like how do you say, or how do you
Yeah.
say this, and then they
Yeah.
would tell me that, and I would just practice it, and I realized I had my headphones and I was listening to music, and I was just sitting there just going, in German I was going, I like bananas. I like bananas. And I was like, hopefully there's people around me.
Yeah.
Like, I can't just do that. I look crazy because I'm just sitting there at a
Yeah.
bus stop going, I like bananas.
Yeah, that's the one way, man.
Yeah, but it works. It works.
Yeah, for me, it worked. It helped
Mhm.
me a lot, and I was doing that every day.
Yeah. So then you came back over, Red Bulls Academy. Who's your coach at that time?
He was Samuel Castellanos.
Uh huh.
He was from El Salvador, half
Mhm.
Salvadorian, half American.
Okay. And did you make that team right away? Did you have to do a trial? Like, how'd it work?
I did a 2-day trial, and then I made it to the team. It was, to be honest, it was super easy.
Uh huh.
I don't know if it was because how I came from Ecuador. Like the first training session, he told me to take it easy
Uh huh.
because I was going super hard on the like defenders.
Like tackling
Yeah.
them?
Like
Okay.
going all ball,
Uh huh.
clear ball, but I was going like press really hard. Like
Yeah.
I would work hard, and he would say, "Hey, like you come from Ecuador," and I was like, "Yeah, I can see that because you're playing different than these guys. That you're going really super hard to every play."
Mm-hmm.
I was like, "Yeah, that's how we play in Ecuador."
Yeah.
And he was like, "No, that's good. That's good. I like that. Just be careful, you don't injure any player."
I mean, we saw it in Copa America, right?
Yeah. So yeah, it was super easy.
Mm-hmm.
I made some friends in Rebels, and then that year was super special for me.
And that was the U18 team at Red Bulls?
Yeah, U18, U19.
Okay.
It was combined.
Gotcha. And were you in school as well?
No.
You
So I graduated from high school in Ecuador,
Uh-huh.
and I came to the States. I was out of school.
Gotcha. So your whole job was just to go play footy.
I was locked in.
Yeah, I was locked in.
I was trained, like waking up, breakfast, then lunch, waiting 4 p.m. to drive to the
Mhm.
facility, train, do extra work. I didn't have anything else to do.
Yeah. So all day long, it was just your whole day was just you were basically a pro footballer.
Yeah. So I didn't have to go to school. Other guys, they had to go to school because they
Yeah.
were 17, 18.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go to training, do my best, come back next day, same thing.
So why was this year then a special year for you?
So we were playing. We have a couple games. When I came to the team, we had only probably 7 games left in the season,
Mm-hmm.
and then we had this D8 tournament.
Yeah.
In California, I think.
Yeah.
So I was playing really well, and then we went to this tournament in DA. We did really well. We lost in quarterfinals, I think, and we came back. So that moment, Red Bulls had a USL team, the championship team.
Mhm.
It was called New Red Bulls 2,
Mm-hmm. What year is this?
2019.
Okay.
March. So I had like 5 months into the academy
Mhm.
at that moment. And then we finished training with the U19. We were in the locker room, and coach came in and he said, "Hey, Red Bulls 2, they need some players for tomorrow training. Who is available for tomorrow?" But the time, it was 12 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
So it was really tough for the guys that were in school because they had school.
Mm-hmm.
So I raised my hand. I was like, "Yeah, I can come. I don't have school." But we also had training at 7.
Uh-huh.
So the coach was like, "Okay, Jeciel, like you're in for tomorrow." But I was excited because they all train with the first team too. Like it was a really different environment.
Mm-hmm.
Like these guys on Rebels too, they were getting paid tons of money.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, "Yeah, I'm going for sure." Next day I wake up, I go to training. So I had to drive every day 50 minutes to get to the facility. I go there, different environment. You got lunch, you got guys from the first team coming in,
Mm-hmm.
talking to you, this and that. So I was like, okay. We'll go to training, and I was basically a mannequin for 1 hour and a half. Like, I think it was on a Thursday, so they had a game on Saturday.
Yeah.
So they were doing tactics,
Mm-hmm.
set pieces, all this. So I was basically like a mannequin. They were standing right here.
Mm-hmm.
They would do set pieces. Okay, now stand over here. Like, I didn't have opportunity to touch the ball, anything.
Yeah, yeah.
So finished training. Then I had to stay 5 hours because I have training at night at 7. We trained. Coach came to the locker room again. He goes, "Hey, Velbus needs more players for tomorrow." Raise my hand. I can come.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't even know if it was the same thing like the day before, but I was like, okay, I can come.
Yeah.
That day, I think it was Friday, so it was match day -1. Now I get into the rondos at the beginning of training. I was so tired. Like, they were keeping the ball too much.
Mm-hmm.
It was so good. Like, the level was so high. I was training, do rondos, and then we did like small sided. So that was the first time I could literally play with these guys. And guys that were right now, they're playing MLS, they're playing Europe.
Mm-hmm.
So we were playing. That was the time I can show myself. You know, I was like, yeah. Because when I raised my hand, I was thinking, yeah, I could go. Then they could see me. You know, they could do some approach. We train, and then I didn't hear from the coach 1 week, and then next week they sent me an email saying, "Hey, they picked you to train the whole week with the second team." I was like, okay. And my coach was like, "You don't have to come to the Unite team training because you're gonna be with them full time."
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, this is good.
Yeah.
So,
and was this your first time training with pros? Like, did you ever have the opportunity to train with the first team in Ecuador?
Yeah, I had the opportunity. Yeah, a couple of times with the first team in Ecuador.
Yeah. So at this time though, even though it's always nerve-wracking to come into a new team and train with them, you've been there though. You've trained with pros before, so you have a little bit of experience going into this. Yeah.
So when I started training with the second team, I was like, I'm just gonna be me. You know, I'm gonna do the same things that I do in the U19. If I had to do a flick, I'll do it.
Yeah.
You know. And yeah, that was the way to go. And I go the first week. I was training so well, and because their style of playing is direct, a lot of conditioning,
especially back then. Yeah.
So I was getting into that rhythm. Like, I felt great. And then one day they come to me during lunch and they say, "Hey, here's the paper. You have to sign this because you're gonna be on the team, but you will also be available for the academy." So I got the paper. I signed quick before they regret it. They go, sign. I was like, I'm gonna just sign this real quick. Because I knew it was. I read it like I knew this just so they could pick me for any game.
Yeah, academy contract, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So you weren't getting paid anything.
No.
Yeah.
So,
which is funny though, because I feel like everybody's had that experience where you get offered that paper, that contract, and you think, like, oh my God, we're idiots. They gave this to me. I'm going to sign this. They have no idea. I don't want them to take it back. It's funny. We all kind of go through the same emotions, the same thoughts. Because I remember thinking that too, like with Orange County, when they offered me that, I'm like, I got to sign this tonight or else I don't want them to rescind it, take it back tomorrow if I don't sign it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I read a little bit more than that.
It was super quick. Like, I trained with them 1 week and then they just wanted me to sign these papers.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, this is going fast. I signed the paper. But at the moment I signed, they had a good team. Like, they had guys they had Tom Barlow.
Is that the year they won it? Did they win it that year?
I think it was the after that. After that.
Okay.
So they had guys like Tom Barlow forward.
Never mind. I'm thinking. Yeah.
They had a lot of guys like Marcus Epps.
Oh yeah.
Ben Mines.
Yeah.
They had Jerry Stroud that is playing in DC United. Ben White.
Yeah.
Like, it was a team full of good players.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, maybe they just making me sign this so I can train. I was never expecting the possibility for me to play. But then I was having good trainings, and I made it to the roster against Hartford. I see the list. I said, "Oh, my name is there." So I made my debut on that year.
At Hartford?
No, in Montclair,
Okay,
in New Jersey.
Yeah, yeah.
So I made my debut, and I played 15 minutes. We won 4-0
Uh-huh.
against Hartford. But then all of a sudden, I go to training the next week, and we had to go to Atlanta to play a away game.
Mm-hmm.
And they sent out the list, the roster, and I see my name again. And I was like, wow, like they're leaving a lot of players behind that they're being here for a lot of time.
Mm-hmm.
I go to Atlanta, we get our per diem. I remember it was $50, but they gave every meal, so
Yeah.
I just took those 15, kept it.
Mm-hmm.
We go to the, routine breakfast, team walk, meeting, lunch, but they didn't say the starting lineup yet. But I'm thinking, yeah, I'm coming just in case,
Mm-hmm.
second half, 70th minute, 75th.
Mm-hmm.
We go into the locker room, and then the coach is saying, okay, like, let's get gathered together. We're going to go through the lineup and tactics, all of that. When they put the lineup up, I see my name on the right side. I say, oh, that's my last name. I'm going to start.
Yeah.
I didn't know. Before that, I didn't know I was going to start. So I was like,
It's funny the coaches didn't say anything.
yeah, he didn't even say a word to me in
Yeah.
the whole trip or like that morning.
Yeah.
Hey, like, you might start.
Didn't just pull you over side.
Yeah,
Like, hey,
hey,
you ready? You
bro,
feeling
yeah,
good? No.
Nothing. So I was in the locker room, like, and then when you don't know if you're not starting, you're less worried, like you're relaxing. So I was like that. When I saw my name, I was like, oh, like, gotta be locked in, you know?
The heart starts going.
So I was like, okay, let's do it. They have a beautiful pitch at that
Yeah.
moment. So I was like, okay. And Rito was the right back at that time.
Okay.
So we go into the game, and then I got my first assist in the USL.
On Rito?
On Rito, yeah. I gave a pass to him, and he scored. And then I had a good game.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's why I said it was like a turning point for me.
Yeah. That's awesome. So in that year, you basically went from joining this team at the U19 team to getting your first training sessions with this team to all of a sudden now starting for New York Red Bulls too in 1 year.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was.
I said crazy.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's Maxie. Unbelievable. Sorry, Maxie. Don't get mad. Okay. That's unbelievable. That's awesome.
It was super fast.
And at this time, are you thinking like, okay, I'm going to get a pro contract here for the next season, or what were your thoughts?
To be honest, it was going super well.
Yeah.
That my thinking was, yeah, I'm getting a contract. Like they're gonna offer me a contract to stay here, and I was feeling so good.
Yeah.
Within the team, like the vibes were good. Like in training, they were like, yeah, like they like me, so we'll talk on the field, off the field. And then I had some guys from the academy sign with the second team, like training with me again. So I was waiting for the offer, to be honest.
Yeah.
I was like, I didn't have an agent at that moment. So I was like, but like everything was going well. So I was expecting the best, But it was July and my time with the under 19 ended. So I talked to the coach from the Red Bulls too. I was like, what's gonna be the situation now? But they said like they had a team already. Like probably next year they will take into consideration signing new guys and stuff. But so at that moment I realized, okay, if I'm not gonna play, then I'm just gonna go home and try to do something. Maybe in this last 5 months of the year, and then next year I'll go back again. So yeah.
And that's so. Were you like bummed about that when you heard that? Like that's not fun to hear.
Yeah.
Because you have these expectations of like, oh, I'll get signed to a fully professional contract. Then you just keep on thinking up. But that's how the world works. The professional game is sometimes they go, no, we're going to go in a different direction.
Yeah.
And you just have to go, okay, thank you.
Yeah. It was tough.
Yeah.
It was tough because everything, like I said, everything was going super well. That I was thinking, okay, we are going the right way,
So did you just literally go home and train by yourself and train with friends until then?
Yeah, I used to train and I started working.
Where'd you work?
I went to work in a Supreme factory.
Like
the
the
brand.
clothing.
Yeah, the clothing
Hype
brand.
Beast Supreme.
Yeah.
Okay.
I went with my sister because I told my mom, I was like, hey, I know we're paying rent.
Yeah.
I know that you're being supportive with me throughout my career. But if I have to work one day, I will do it. And everything I get, I'll give it to you. Because, right in the US, the life is expensive.
Yeah, especially in New Jersey.
Yeah. So I was like, Mom, if I have to work, I work even if it's 5 months. I can help you in 5 months. I'll give you the money. So I went with my sisters to this Supreme factory. And they liked me. So it was my first ever job, actual job. Because I used to work when I was little, but this was like a legit job, So the first day I go, they said, okay, it was from 8 to 5. So like a whole shift.
Yeah.
Everything was new to me, like breaks at 12 in the afternoon, 50 people working at the same time. So they said, okay, so they're choosing, okay, you're going to go here, women's go here, like they packing everything. And you're going with them. So they pointed at me and told me, hey, you're going with this guy. The guy told me, what are you going to do now? If you pass this, you can do everything here. This is the hardest thing you're going to do in this job. So I was afraid. I was like, what am I going to do? So I have to pack like big boxes of like underwear, heavy, bring it down for like a second floor.
Yeah.
Like this and just put it into a car.
Yeah.
So heavy. And he was like, you got to be careful. Like, you gotta be really careful because this is heavy. It was really tough. And I was like, okay, if I want to stay here, I gotta find a way to don't do this kind of job.
Yeah, like manual labor, like hard work. Yeah.
So I was like, then I started next day go do the same thing, and I was like, okay, I gotta find a way to do something else because there was a lot of things to do in the factory.
Yeah.
So I was like, I gotta find a way. So I saw these guys doing something with a phone. They will scan things and they'll just put it to the side.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, that doesn't seem like hard.
I
was like, I'm trying to learn how to do that. So they will send me with a guy. I will ask him, hey, how you do that? He will say, oh, you do this. Okay. And I will mess around. Like on the free time, I will mess around, do this. And then I started doing that. So I didn't have to carry out big boxes.
Yeah.
So I would do that every day now, every week. Now the owner comes to me and said, what are your plans? Like, what do you want to do going forward? And I said, I just want to be here for 5 months. And then I want to continue playing soccer, to be honest. I don't want to stay here for 1 year, 2 years. He said, okay. He was Peruvian, the owner. So
yeah.
He was like, he knew my path. He knew what I wanted to do. So he was like, okay, that's fair. By the way, we have a league, soccer league that we play between companies in this area. Do you want to join our team? He didn't know I was good. He just said to me like, oh, you're from Ecuador? Yeah, we can play soccer. So I was like, yeah, I'll play. So I used to work from 8 to 5 and then play from 7 to 9 with the guys on the same, like doing the same work. So we used to go play 7v7, small sided. We won the league by far.
Yeah.
Like it was super easy because you're playing against all guys. And then I started doing another job that it was less stressful than anything. I was just supervising women and men. Hey, do this, go do that. Like I was literally doing the dream work. And then it was about November when they asked me, do you want to sign a contract here? And I was kind of surprised because I was 19. And then they said, yeah, we want to sign you like a contract. We want to sign you as a supervisor for this area because we're seeing that you're really good, like you're hardworking. We're gonna give you more money. At that moment, I was getting $10.25 an hour.
Yeah.
When I was doing overtime almost every day, so I was making like $700-800 a week.
Yeah.
So I was like, "Hey, look, I appreciate you, but I can't take it because I want to be a soccer player, you know."
Yeah.
And they say, "Okay, so whenever you want to come back, the doors are always open." I was like, "I appreciate you, but I have to leave," you know. Yeah, that was a cool experience.
I never knew that. That's crazy.
Yeah,
it's funny. It's hard that sometimes you see that contract, guaranteed money. You said it was easy work, and you're thinking, like, I remember at Sacramento when I was training with them, I was the mannequin. I had one time, bro. I had one time I was training with them, and you know, after training, when you do your position specific extra work, and they were super organized, and so everybody had to do something, and I was doing just 2-touch with a guy, and they're like, "Sheldon, come down here," and they're doing the finishing drill. So I'm thinking, oh yes, like I gotta hop in the finishing drill. I never gonna like go stand behind the goal and shag the balls.
Oh,
and I was like, okay,
that's the worst.
But when I was there, one of the coaches, he liked me. He was like, he really liked my attitude. He liked me. He saw I was hardworking, and he saw that I like had a college, was working towards a college degree. And he said, "Hey, I know you want to be a pro, but I can give you like $60K a year to be a club director at Sacramento, club coach here, because we want to build our academy at Sacramento Republic." And I was looking at that, and at the time, I was making probably $5,000 a year, and I saw $60,000 a year, and I was thinking, oh my God, like this is more money that I've ever seen. And to be a club coach, like so super easy. But I just was like, no, I want to be a pro, you know? And the coach was like, yeah, you know, I think if I were in your shoes, I'd do the same thing. I think you should. You only have one chance of being a pro, but offers here. But it's hard to see that. And you see that, and you're just like, nope, I'm going to go try to risk it, trying to find a small USL contract somewhere.
Yeah.
Just because you love it, you know? Yeah. So you left, and what was next?
So I left, and I think in October. And then, so Christmas was coming. We usually go to Ecuador for Christmas. And my mom was like, yeah, look, I saw that she was like kind of having trouble with that. Oh, we need to buy this and that. And I was like, okay, I'm going to find a new job. I'll do something else. So I found this guy through my sister's boyfriend. That he run a truck company, like Staples, for Staples. So he would drive a truck from New Jersey to New York, and then delivery everything to the offices and stuff. So I asked this guy, hey, can I go with you? You know, how much is the pay, this and that. And then I used to do delivery in New York. Yeah. So I used to go, and then he will pick me up at 4 a.m. Go to the warehouse, load the truck, and then drive to New York. Come back at 4 p.m. And yeah, that was my second job.
So you were really grinding in order to help out your family.
Yeah.
And to basically get some money into pastime until the next season started. And did you go back to Red Bulls after that? And what was the next team?
No. Red Bull was not like an option.
Yeah.
At that moment.
Not even to come into preseason to train with them?
No, all? I asked to the guy and said, hey, look, if there's an open space, I want to go, you know, try it out. He said, okay, I'll let you know. But it's really hard for them to text you back or say something. So then my family, they bought a restaurant in New Jersey, a Colombian restaurant. So my mom was like, we can make it Colombian Ecuadorian. So we were like, yeah, let's do it. So that moment, I told my mom, you know, when you start a business, it's really hard to make profit in the first years. You know, most of the time you're going to take money out of your pocket to keep investing, you know, until you get clients, you get more people coming in, trying out your food. So I told my mom, hey, if you're going to pay a girl to do the morning shift, I can do it, and you don't pay me. I do it for free, and I just stay with the tip. You know. So my mom was okay. That's $50 that we are not giving out a day. So that's $250 in 5 days. That's $1,000 a month that you can use that to something else. So my mom was like, okay, if you want to do it. So I was free at that moment. So I said, Mom, I'll do this until I find a team.
Yeah.
But then I started liking it. Because I like the business about being in the restaurant.
Yeah.
Like talking to people and stuff. So I will go from 6 to 3 and then be there in the restaurant. And then it just kept going. I was doing from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. Cause like, Mom, but if I can do both, then you are saving $2,000 a month.
You're a good son. Good son. That's a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
To help out your family.
I was doing it for my family and because I realized that I like being there.
Yeah. I feel like you would kill it as, were you a waiter? Is that what you did? Yeah. I feel like you could.
So I was a waiter and I was making like breads, croissants, coffee, cappuccino. I would serve the food. Hey, how are you? Have a good day. Some people would come for a coffee. They'll give me $5 for a tip.
Yeah.
So I was like, Mom, I'm making $100 on tip. I don't need to. You don't have to pay me.
Yeah.
So I was doing that, and then COVID hit. So that was really bad for not only our restaurant, but for everyone. You know, It was a point when you had to basically find ways to recover from losses. And we decided to sell the restaurant because it was too much.
Yeah.
Like, it was for everyone. It's
tough.
A life changing. Yeah.
And so you guys sold the restaurant. Did you guys come out like okay, like financially with everything?
We lost money. Yeah, because for someone to buy the restaurant at that time, it was.
It's probably the worst year to buy a restaurant.
You cannot sell at the same price, because they will say, hey, but COVID hit, like we're not gonna make a lot of money. But we're like, okay, it was being stressful for the family too, for my sisters and my mom, trying to deal with the restaurant not giving out the profit that you think it was gonna be.
Yeah.
So the best option was to sell it. Yeah.
And then did you start training with the team, or did you have to go to a different job at this point?
Then I stopped working, and then I'm a house almost every day. And after COVID, it was like,
the restrictions started to loosen up.
I got a text from a coach from Colombia. He was training with my friend, Ecuadorian friend. And he said to me, hey, I'm doing private sessions for free every day. If you want to come, I'll pick you up and I'll drop you off every day. I was like, this is perfect. Yeah, I'll do this.
Wait, for you to coach?
No, for him to train me.
Okay, so I got you. So he would literally picked you up to go just to train you?
Yeah, so he would do private sessions between 2, 3, 5, 20 guys.
Yeah.
But he liked me. So he texted me and he said, hey, I'll pick you up. I'll drop you off. And then that way you can stay fit and you can stay.
Wow. And because he just saw something in you as a player and he wanted to basically help you out.
Correct.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. I thought when you first said that he would pick you up and that you would coach for him and help him.
No.
Wow.
Because he knew I was not doing anything.
Yeah.
So he knew me by my friend. And he said, hey, what's Jeciel doing?
Yeah.
I know, he's just at home. Okay, I'm going to text him. So what
was this guy's name?
David Cardenas.
What a guy, huh?
He's Colombian.
Yeah.
I have him he's one of the he's a great person.
It sounds like it.
He would do things that nobody else would do.
I mean, I can't imagine, there's not many people I could think of that would go, I'm going to come pick you up, bring you out here because I see potential in you as a player. I'm going to train you for free just to keep you fit, just in the off chance that you sign a pro contract in the future.
Yeah. He would do, and after he did that for 6, 7, 8 months.
Wow. Every
day he'll call me. I'm downstairs. We go to training, 3 guys. He will take cones, balls, everything. finish training, drop me off. Next morning, hey, I'm downstairs. We go, now 10 guys, now 20. Now we'll do scrimmages against other teams. He will figure everything out.
Wow.
Then he was like, after training, Papi. So he was one of the first guy that started calling me Papi. Because in Colombia you say Papi a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
So he will say, Papi, did you eat already? I said, no. Let's go to eat.
Wow.
After training. Papi, do you want to eat this? I say, yeah, I invite you. I pay for everything.
Wow.
So
what was his full-time job? Was he a coach full-time?
He was doing like coaching for a team in Jersey City. But he was just, the love for the game, it was too much for him. So he was doing everything he can in order to help players around the city.
That's amazing.
He's a great guy.
David Cardenas?
Yeah, Colombian. He's a coach now for NYCFC Academy.
Yeah, I mean that's what you want to see is those people that just love the game so much that they're willing to do that. You want those guys to get into good academies because imagine what he's doing for the players there, both as on the field as a coach as well as like off the field for these guys.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
No, and for him, I think we all knew he was gonna keep growing because he was doing things he was not supposed to do. Like a normal person wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
So he will do, like, he's working out with the NYCFC Academy and coaching for a Jersey City team in New Jersey. Wow. So that was the guy that took me out of the house and did everything.
Without him, do you think you would have stayed fit on your own, or do you think you could have?
No.
You think you might have phased out of the game?
Yeah, because it was hard at that moment.
Yeah.
To find a place, find players. Like, we will train with good balls, like air was perfect.
Yeah, the match grade balls.
Like soccer goals, keepers. Every section there was at least 2 keepers. Like, it was, because when you go to training session, there's not keepers. Yeah. Oh, try to put it in the corner. You don't get motivated,
Yeah.
So he will bring 2 keepers, 3 keepers. One day it was like 40 players.
Wow.
And then people would say, he would bring water for everyone. And he would say, Papi, we need to stop at the gas station.
Yeah.
I said, what do you mean? He bring 2 like 40 water bottles for everyone. And then we all were saying, yeah, this guy is a great guy, man.
Wow.
Yeah, so
that's
he
unbelievable.
His name is on my story, like I did in Hartford.
Yeah.
I put his name down because he was the one that took me out. So he had a friend called Bonnie Londono. He works for NYCFC now. He knew more of like the system of New Jersey, or like knowledge about the game. So he said to him, hey, so at that moment, after like 3 months, we were training probably 30 players every training session. Good players, like from New Jersey, New York. They'll come down because they knew the level was high. He kind of recruited everyone from the city around New Jersey. Hey, come train. Like, we have good guys. And then he spoke to his friend and said, hey, he was working at NYCFC. He said, hey, come watch our training sessions. You're going to see some really good guys. So the guy came. He said, hey, guys, I'm Bonnie. I'm from Colombia, this and that. I see a lot of talent here. So we play scrimmages, and then they said, why don't we just make a team? Create a team.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of players that are not playing anywhere right now. We can create a team, and they play tournaments so other teams can see these guys. So that's how they created CEF FC. CEF FC, I think, is Select Elite Football Training FC, something like that. So they created CEF FC, and then they start asking guys, hey, you want to be part of the team? Yeah. So I signed with them.
Yeah.
It was a semi-pro team.
Was it UPSL?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So it was a semi-pro team. We had good players, like good players that were not playing because of COVID or because...
And there's always every single... You can, at any moment, you can find high-level professional level players that are just out of contract.
Yeah. So
that are looking at the same exact thing that you're looking for. Good training sessions to stay fit, to stay waiting for an opportunity.
Yeah. So we'll have training session every day. We go to this field and it was closed. We go to another one. He will figure out everything. Like David, he will not get tired.
He had the waters. He would pick up guys.
Water.
He'd get you food after.
Papi, you don't have a ride? I'll pick you up. Like that. He will call you.
Yeah.
Papi, training tomorrow, 10 a.m. Oh, David, but I don't have a. Okay, I'll pick you up. That 9:20. Like that type of guy. So we start having. We made a team. Like they created a team, and we start playing tournament. Now all of a sudden, this guy is getting a tryout over here. Now this guy is getting a tryout over here. And then now everyone is getting more, now he's bringing people from NYCFC to watch our players. So it was like everyone started like having that feeling of, oh yeah, like this is the way. Like
there's a path.
We came a long way, for staying at home, just to now train every day, play on Saturday. So then after that, it was just training, playing until, and they said, yeah, you guys can stay here until we find you a team. Like that was David goal, was to train you, give you everything you need, and then at the same time
push you up,
talking to people, talking to agents, and talking to teams. Hey, do you need a forward? We have a forward here. And he said, you don't have to give me anything. We're just trying to help you guys.
What a guy.
Yeah. So we were like, yeah, like why not? You're having 5 days to train, play on Saturday. And after that is when I got the tryout for Hartford.
Did he help set that up?
Yeah.
Really?
So we had Seve, that was the time I knew Sebastian.
Yeah.
So he was training with us too.
Okay. Oh, he was there with you guys.
He was one of the guys.
Gotcha. Okay.
He was there.
And for those of you, so Seba is from New Jersey.
Yeah.
But he was here training with us. He played for Detroit a few years ago, right? But so he was training with us this year. But you know him originally from this Ceph
FC, yeah.
Okay, wow. Gotcha, guys. It's connecting. I'm connecting all the dots now. Gotcha.
So he was training with us, and then he had his agent. And David was like, hey, Papi, your agent, like, can he help Jeciel, And then they talked to this agent, and he reached out to me and said, hey, can you go to Hartford? I was like, yeah, I'm 3 hours away.
Yeah.
Okay, you have a 2-day trial with Hartford.
And this is 2021?
2021.
Did you come in during preseason?
No. Yes. Okay. But I went to like open combine,
Oh, okay, yeah.
But it was a 5-day combine. But I just went there Thursday and Friday, so the last 2 days.
Gotcha.
So I was like, I don't know, it was hard because some people had 5 days. Now you're having 2 days to show that you can get a contract, But at that moment, I was playing every day with FFC.
You're sharp.
Yeah, so I was like training, playing.
I think too, it's so crucial if you're out of contract to be in an environment like that, because like it's not the same level, but like in Portland, we have this good group of guys that every offseason we train together. And every offseason, you're looking for a contract. You don't know what's going to happen. But there's a group of like 8 of us that would go. We had some college kids, some pros, some up to, Rubio at the MLS level, down to like, NISA guys, like all in between. And we just train and play every morning, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. at the field. We train. And you start talking, be like, hey, what's your plan? Okay, yeah. Oh, who's your agent? Oh, could I talk to him? And you start connecting and you are involved in the world, just like with you and Seb and all this. And that's how you get a lot of your opportunities. Versus if you're at home or training by yourself, you miss out on that. Yeah. And that's really, the game is done through your network like that. So if you stay fit and you stay involved in a network of high-level players, opportunities usually start coming. Yeah,
that's what really happened with Seb. Because you had 30 players with different backgrounds, talking different conversations at the same time. Hey, are you going to college?
Yeah.
What happened in your last club? Hey, do you have a chance over there? Like,
They see you every day, that you work hard, that you're a good player. They go, oh, I for sure can talk to my agent. Oh, I know this player. I know this. Yeah, that's sick. So you went to Hartford. You did the Thursday, Friday combine.
Yeah.
How did it? And I'm guessing it went well. Because
I scored 3 goals in those 2 days.
Uh-huh.
And it was my first time going to a trial like that. It was like 40 players. In a trial, everyone wants to do their own thing. So that was one thing that I said to me. I said, I'm gonna go. If I'm gonna play, I'm gonna do the things that I'm supposed to do in the game. I'm not gonna try to dribble past 7 players so they can be like, oh yeah, this guy is good. I'm gonna just do the little things right. Don't try to overdo things. And then I trained Thursday. They sent me to a house where there was 10 players in that house. At that house, it was, Walmer Martinez from Monterrey. Yeah. He was there too. I was there with some other players, and I went Friday. And on Friday they said, okay, one by one, come to the office. So he was like, yeah, you're gonna go, and you're expecting yes, no, depends how you did in the training sessions. Yeah, I went inside. They were like, hey, we really like you. We want to invite you to preseason, but right now we have too much players. So we're gonna email you 2 weeks from now. By that time, we have already cut probably some players, so you can come after 2 weeks. When they said that, to be honest, I said, okay, they're not gonna call me. When someone said, oh, we're gonna call you in 2 weeks, it's literally okay. No, they're not gonna do it. After 2 weeks, I got the email. They said, okay, yeah, you're ready to come. Monday, you start. And I went on Monday. I was living in the same house with 10 players. I was there with a guy from CEF FC, Colombian guy. Lefty 10, really good. And I was with Walmer. I was some other guys. Every week, one guy, Walmer, comes and be like, I just signed a contract. So he left the house. So it was like a reality show. Every week, hey, I just signed. Hey guys, they said like it was over for me. They left. So every week was like 9 guys, 8 guys, 7. So, and then they said to me, hey, we want to sign you. We want to do this with you. The coach really likes you. In the last 2 games of preseason, I scored 3 goals. So I think that was the main reason that got me into getting the contract. Yeah, and I signed with them 2 year. I mean, 1 and an option.
Yeah. And how did that feel? Because that was your first professional contract. Were you stoked? Was it the original where you're like, oh my God, I got to sign this before they take it back? Like, were you relieved? Were you just excited?
Yeah, I was mostly excited. I was not shocked because, I mean, to be honest, the money was not something that I was like, expecting,
Yeah.
It was super little. Like the amount was crazy. Maxi. It was insane. Like it was nothing great, but
it's that first year
at the moment
USL
I was
contract.
like, yeah, I just want to play.
Yeah.
Like my thinking was, even if I'm getting this amount, I'm going to take any opportunity I have during the season to earn what I want next year.
Exactly.
Or in the future years.
Yeah.
So I accept the offer. I'm like, okay, that's fair. And I went that way, and I was like, let's see what happens.
Did you get a lot of playing time that first year?
My first year, I got more playing time than my second year. Which is something like, I don't know how to explain, because usually your first year, you don't get so much, you get little amount of minutes.
There's also a change in coaches, weren't there, from 2021 to 2022?
So the 2021 and 2022 was the same coach.
Oh, okay.
But they changed
the
coach
there?
Harry Watland.
Yeah, Harry.
From England.
Uh-huh.
So my first year, I played 16 games. Good amount of minutes, like 68. I started some games. And my second year, I didn't start a lot of games. I was coming in like the last 10, 15, 20. But things that happens in the game.
That's how it goes, especially because like after 1 year, they might bring in other guys in your position to improve. That's how it works. But you just stayed true to it. You got your option picked up. You kept on working, kept on training, kept on developing your game. How did you feel like now being in a professional environment? Because you know, just a year or 2 years ago, you were on the brink of ending your career of like just going and becoming a waiter with your family business, or training, you know, with David and all his guys. Was it nice to be in this professional environment every day, training with a pro team, being a pro, even if the money was low? Did you see like potential in the future of like, okay, this is good, I just got to stick it out, keep on developing? Or were you kind of like frustrated about playing time?
I mean, to be honest, I'm always being like hardworking guy, and I think what got me here I just don't see everything that's happening like it's gonna stay that way for a long period of time. I'm thinking if I'm not playing right now, I will play in 2 weeks. I will play in 3 weeks. Like that's how I see things. And even when I was not playing at Hartford, I was like, okay, I'm gonna be the best one in training, even if I don't play on the weekend, even if the coach don't put me in the roster, I'm gonna try to be the best one in training session, because that's going to get me better. And I was thinking, yeah, I'll do my best. I will see what the guys that are starting are doing better than me. If the guy that is starting in my position is doing this and I'm not doing it, then I'm gonna start doing it. And yeah, at the same time, I was thinking, if I gotta stop playing soccer and get a job, I'll do it too. You know?
Yeah, because you've been there.
Yeah, I've been there, and then I know what I can do. So I was like, but I also know that I can keep going
and go higher.
Yeah.
And then after that second year, you were a free agent, and that's when Tab Ramos came in for that 2023 season. That's when I was signed to come in as well.
Yeah.
That's where we first became teammates. Did they immediately after that 2022 year, did Tab sign you immediately to a new contract, or did you have to wait, or how'd that work?
Tab came in on 2022.
End of the season, right?
End of the season. So we had 5 games left, but we also were like that we were not making playoffs at that moment. So I think we were out of any possibility to make playoffs. When he came in, I had like 7 games without playing, because the coach that was there got fired, or he left, and a guy took over, the sporting director. I think he took over, and I was not playing.
Ray Reid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was not playing, and I was playing right back in training sessions.
Yeah.
So, and it was in the middle of the season that if you are not playing, but at least you're doing your position in training, you're like, okay, like, you know, I can make it. But if I was playing right back, left back, right back. I used to play left back before, but I was like, if I want to make it to the team, to the starting lineup, there's no way I can make it playing right back. But at that moment, I was still happy. I was like, okay, like my time is gonna come. You know, a coach is gonna come, and I'll if I keep doing my best, when he comes, he will see that I've been, you know, doing the right thing. Tab came. I remember he came on a Tuesday. On Friday, we played a scrimmage in a squad, and then on Saturday I started the game. And he talked to me and he said, yeah, I saw you training on Wednesday. Yeah, you can play. I don't know what happened with you before, but yeah, you're starting on Saturday in LA. I was like, yeah, like I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
So yeah, we won that game, and we had 5 more days, 5 more games. And then he talked to me at the end of the season. He said, I want you back. I want to sign you back. We're going to bring more players, better players. So you need to come back better than you are right now. So Tab Ramos, he liked me a lot. So that gave me a boost to come into next year, like ready to fight for a spot.
And then you came in, and it was a tough year, but you got a lot of playing time and started a decent amount of games, right?
Yeah.
And then, but randomly, like you got traded
Correct.
halfway through the season, which sucked. But because I think you and Tulu left like that same week.
Yeah.
Like two of the best locker room guys.
Yeah.
Just out. All the dancing vibes were gone. There was no one to play the tucka tucka music.
Yeah.
Tulu wasn't dancing in the back. It was tough.
Yeah, it was tough.
That.
I mean, that's football, you know?
Yeah.
Like now I realize that you got to be ready for anything.
Mm-hmm.
Because I always said, if it was not Oakland that I was getting traded to and it was Betis from Spain,
mm-hmm.
I will be happy, you know? So why wouldn't I be happy going to Oakland, you know? And then I think everything happened for a reason, you know? I was playing in Hartford. We're not having a good year. And then I'm going to a team that I was doing really good.
You got off to a great start at Oakland.
Yeah. And over there, I'm starting every single game. And then
scoring goals, getting assists. I remember the first like 5 games, you had a couple goals already. Yeah. Me and Antoine were like, damn, Jesse's popping off over there, man.
Yeah. So I was having a good time over there, and they offered me a new deal like 2 weeks into me getting into Oakland. So I was like I said, when I talked to the coach in Oakland, he said, yeah, when you guys play here, I saw you, and then, yeah, I liked you, like how you play, you're thinking during the game. Like, I like those kind of players. That's what brought me back to my days in Hartford, saying to me, yeah, what are you doing every day? Someday someone's going to realize what you've been done, even in the worst days of your career, you know? And that's gonna make things happen. So that one game because I scored against Oakland before I got traded.
That's one of our 1 wins of the season.
Yeah. So that was one game that changed my career. Yeah. That year.
It's crazy too. I think about that a lot when I'm playing, especially when it was a tough season at Hartford or Charleston. I think about that a lot. Like, you are going to get recruited in the future by somebody else. And sometimes they just pick a random game to watch. You know, they'll be like, okay, Charleston Battery, let's watch Matt Sheldon from one game. Yeah. Like, you don't want it to be that one game where you give up or you're not trying hard. And then like, oh, he's not trying hard. So every single game, I'm like, this could be the game that your future employer your future coach is watching, that's going to be scouting you. And like every single play, that's all I think about. It's like, don't let this be the game where you give up and then you lose a contract in the future. So it's crazy. Yeah, you go there, have a good game against Oakland, you score, and then you end up signing you get traded there, and then you end up signing a multi-year deal after. And got off to a great start. A couple great goals there. And then that brings us into this season, because you started off this season. How is it going? Because you signed a multi-year deal in Oakland, thinking, again, you'll be there for multi-years, and then you get traded again. How's it being traded 2 times in 2 years? Is it hard, or is it just, like you said, part of the job?
Yeah, for me, it's all business. You know, for me, it's part of being a footballer, and this trade is different because I thought it was for another player. You know, and it was like a transfer. Yeah. So I took it as a compliment, knowing that another coach wants me in their team, you know. And even though you think you're settled in one team, doesn't mean things can change quickly, you know. Yeah. So I think what makes me happy is knowing that in my time in Oakland, I did my best. And I know that I did great things over there. I left from through the big door. Nothing against anyone. I talked to the staff over there, and then you gotta continue throughout the journey, you know. Yeah.
It's like this season I signed that 2-year with Hartford 2 years ago, or a year and a half ago or something, thinking that, I finished the season with Hartford, thinking I'd go back. When I got traded, it's like you get all this mix of emotions of like, oh, it's exciting because another coach wants you, but now you're like, I'm moving and leaving all my teammates. Yeah. And then you're like, I was imagining my life here for the next year, but then I'm super excited to go this new city and to meet but then you're like, just so many thoughts are going through your head. It's tough, but it's also all you're thinking about is excitement, going to the new team, performing there, everything. How have you been liking Detroit for the because you got here? What month did you get here? July.
In July, yeah.
So you've been here for a few months now. How's everything going in Detroit?
It's been good. I'm close to family. They're
Yeah.
from New Jersey, so yeah, I'm pretty close compared to Oakland.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, the city is super calm. Close to downtown. It's
Mm-hmm.
super nice. The team is great. Couple, lot of guys. Within the team, good vibes every day.
Mm-hmm.
People um, getting at each other in training, which I love it. Yeah, it's been a good time, man. We just made the playoffs, so it's one thing that I haven't done in my career to make the playoffs.
Oh
So
wow, yeah, I think about that because Hartford,
Oakland
Oakland last year.
and now Detroit. So that's my
Wow,
first time.
congrats, man. That's sick.
Thank you.
First postseason.
Yeah. So
Hopefully, we have a good run now.
yeah. So yeah, it's always good to make the playoffs and then try to get as far as possible.
Uh huh. So that pretty much brings us to now. We're caught up. I'm going to end the podcast with 3 last questions, and then
Okay.
I'll take you back home. What do you think has been the all-time greatest moment of your career?
All time. I will say, um, like in my pro career or just
Yeah, pro career.
pro career.
Yeah, best moment.
I think it was when this year when I scored my goal against Tampa
Yeah,
in Oakland
yeah. Why was that goal special?
because I was playing really well and I was I just couldn't get the goals
Mm-hmm.
in the previous games, and Tampa came to town and it was a tough game. We needed to win, and Tampa is always a big opponent,
Mm-hmm.
and we had a good game. And I remember the coach saying that even if you play the ball out wide, you just gotta run to the box. Keep the playing going. Yeah, I just made the run and then I scored a header. So it was my first header, and we won the game 1-0. So
Yeah.
I think that was a game that just opened things up. Then we went to Sacramento and then I scored again. So
Mm-hmm.
it was a good moment for me.
Yeah, that's awesome. What about the worst moment of your career?
Mm, my career. I think when I signed with no during when Harry Walling got fired.
Mm-hmm.
When Harry Walling left Hartford because the sporting director Ray Reid took over, and then I didn't play for 7 games, so
Yeah.
he was like training right back, even though I was happy, to be honest, but just want to play,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and that one day after 7-8 games, I made the roster against Tampa at home. I told my family, hey, come to the game, like I might come in, I just made the roster. We lost, and then I didn't even come into the field.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I was thinking about my family. I was like, they came me a long way to just
To see
now.
me not come to the game.
Yeah. So I was like, that's tough.
Yeah. It's hard too, like you said, playing in a different position because you feel like on one hand it's hard because you want to play your position. You feel like you're not even getting a chance to be looked at in the game, but you're part of a team. It's not just about you. You got to help out the team. If the team needs you to play left back to help out the starting team, you got to do that. And every player will go through that at some point in their career. But it's hard because you're kind of just thinking, what about me? I should, look at me as a potential, starter or
Yeah.
asset of the team. It's tough. Last question for you. If you could go back in a time machine and go talk to younger Jeciel,
Okay.
when would you go back and what would you say to him? Like, what piece of advice would you give him?
I will go back to when I was 12 years old,
Mm-hmm.
and I will tell him to find the best academy system or the best team to keep developing?
In America or back in Ecuador?
Anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just to focus on the academy and
Yeah.
develop, because those next 2 years were tough. That was when you were kind of just locked in the house playing Call of Duty
Yeah.
a lot, huh?
Because I see it this way, like in those years that I was not playing or going to training and learning about tactics, all these things about football, other kids, they were doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So that means they were 2 years ahead of you.
Yeah.
Learning things that now you're gonna learn it maybe when you're 14, but they then at 14 they know things about 16.
Yeah.
You know, so you're basically a couple years behind,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's tough to catch up after a certain amount of years.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's super hard too, because when you're 12, 10, it doesn't depend on you. You know, you have family that is, if they want to move to a different country, you have to go. Like,
yeah, and you're not old enough to be like, oh, let me hop on Google, find an academy near me, call the coach, and get a tryout here. You're just like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna go with the flow.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like that advice though. It is important. It's really important. It's from those ages too, of like 10 years old, 11 years old to 16. Developing in those years is technically, tactically, physically, it's huge. I like that.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, anything else that you want to say on the podcast? Anything else we didn't cover?
No, just thank you guys for watching.
Yeah. No, I appreciate you coming on the podcast, Jesse. Thank you very much. And hope you guys enjoyed this episode of the Against All Odds podcast. All Jesse's socials will be in the description. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.